Okay, testing, 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 1, 2, testing, testing. All right, do not disturb. How am I coming? What? I'm coming through? Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Hope everyone can hear me. Yep, I can hear myself. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Nice. Well, when I said do not disturb, I turned on the focus mode on macOS so I don't get any notifications. I think we might start on time. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Well, actually won't start on time. Turn that off. Select the right mic. Record. So I'm recording locally. That's it. All right. Oh, nearly forgot. Let's go on. Hey. Oh, there. All right. What else am I meant to do? Oh, that's right. I'm going to Blue Sky. If anyone wants to follow me, I'm on Blue Sky as well. But I can't stream on there. Where's it going? Live. And then I'll put a little antenna icon. There we go. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the choice. Oh, thanks. Choice of topic is excellent. Well, I've had a few people ask for this, so. But if you do have any other questions about any other things in Drupal, well, just send them my way. Happy to chat. Always love talking about Drupal. Even if I might be accused of, being paid by Drupal. Doesn't make sense, but, Well, I do get paid to work on Drupal, so technically I am being paid by Drupal. Anyway. All right. Drupal CMS. All right, cool. And we are ready to go. All right, let's switch over to the main feed. I'll move that over there somehow. Let's switch over to the main feed. There we go. I'll move this and I'll move that there. Perfect. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is just get right into it, eh? I assume everything's going well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 platforms I'm streaming on. Oh, that's great. Okay, let's get into it. Organizing. Okay. So let's just jump straight into it. Okay. Cool. One question I've gotten a few times when I talk about media is how do you organize media assets? Because if you use the standard Drupal installation or even the standard Drupal CMS right now, Drupal CMS comes with media and media library installed, whereas I think Drupal standard at this point still doesn't come with media installed. Maybe they will, but I feel like installation profiles are out the window and we're going to be using Drupal CMS. Essentially, that's the future moving forward. So here I've got Drupal CMS. And when you install Drupal CMS, It comes with just media and media library. Now, if you're not using Drupal CMS, all you need to do is come along here to extend, search for media and install media and media library. And out of the box, you get a pretty decent media system. And if you come to content, you will get this media page, and you can see here one example image that has been added. Now, when it comes to organizing your, your media assets, yes, you have different types, but that's about it, okay? Now, from a Drupal standpoint, if you're a Drupal developer, it makes perfect sense. Well, of course, media is just an entity type, and we're just listing out a bunch of filterable entities, the same as content or the same as people. It's all the same. But a lot of editors do like the ability to organize their media assets into folders. So tonight we're going to be looking at exactly how to just organize your media assets into folders, or make it look like you are organizing them into folders, because we're not technically doing it from the file system. Because remember, this what you see right here is a media entity, and the image that you see on the image field is actually pointing to a file entity, and then that file entity is pointing to the actual image. So we aren't technically managing the media assets on the file system, but there are two modules that we can use to organize these media assets. And the two modules are brilliantly named. Now, I've brought this up before, that usability of a module starts with the name. That is a quote that I heard a long time ago. I did not come up with it. I'm sorry. I cannot credit the person who mentioned it, because I don't remember who mentioned it, but that is so true in Drupal. Because when you Google things, well, who Googles things these days? I mean, when you ask Perplexity or ask AI, what module would you recommend? Of course, they're going to be searching for things. So the first module we're going to be taking a look at is called Media Directories. And that module allows you to create directories for your media assets. And it's been around for a while, and it's got about nearly 5,500 installs. And it's been kept up to date, which is great. And if we click on the reported installs, you can see that I actually started in 2020. Well, that is 5 years ago. Oh, that's crazy to think. That 2020, when the world changed, when the big thing happened, things have, yeah. That's 5 years ago now. Well, and you can see that's been a nice steady growth, which is great. And the second module we're going to take a look at is called Media Folders. Again, another brilliantly named module. What does it do? It helps you organize your media into folders, hence the name Media Folder. And so these two modules we're going to take a look at for just organizing our media assets into folders, but they do work in very similar ways. The biggest thing is the way they organize assets is by using a vocabulary, so a taxonomy term. And you can and you can essentially mimic folder-like structures by using taxonomy terms. So the first module we're going to take a look at is called Media Directories. That's the one that we are going to take a look at. And I've already gone ahead and downloaded it. So you want to make sure you download the correct version. You should really be on this version 2, because you should be on, I think, Drupal 11 at this point, because Drupal, as of this recording, Drupal 10.4 is unsupported at the end of this month, which is June 2025. So apologies for people watching this video a year from now. So you should be on Drupal 11, or whichever one you support, whichever one is supported at the time. So I've already gone ahead and downloaded it using Composer. And if we go to extend and search for Media Directories, you will see that we have 3 submodules. Now, I do recommend that you just go ahead and install all of them, because the module does pull in a few dependencies. So it utilizes Entity Browser and Entity Embed, which is used to, well, Entity Browser is a module that allows you to create essentially pop-up browsers of any type of entity, and then Entity Embed allows you to embed any type of entity into CKEditor. And so it pulls those modules down. So I do recommend that you install all three. So let's go ahead and install Media Directories and then Media Directories Editor and Media Directories UI. So we'll go ahead and install all of them, and you will see that it's asking to install Entity Browser and Entity Embed. Now, if you want to learn more about both of those two browsers, because both of those two modules, Entity Browser and Entity Embed, I do believe I've got a video on them because you can actually create some pretty cool UI for embedding and picking and selecting different content in your Drupal site. Okay, so we've set all of that stuff up. And if we go to content, we should see Media Browser. If you can't see it, clear the cache. But if we click on here, we will get this error. Vocabulary is not selected. And if we open up the settings page, which you can access by going to configuration, media, and then clicking on media. Which one is this? Media settings, media library settings, media directories. And right here, media directories. Here we can control a few things. So the first one is let's create a taxonomy vocabulary. So we'll go ahead and create a new one. And we can do that by just going to structure, taxonomy. And let's click on add vocabulary. And I'll call this one media directories and click on save. And let's create a few terms. So I'll call this one images, PDFs, and I'll create another one called thumbnails, and we'll pop that one below images and click on save. All right, so we have a question. There is an error message that every time an upload is over 6 meg, the question is, how can I change the words? How to change the wording of that? Well, you can do it through JavaScript. You can do it through a form alter, maybe a translation. There should be some type of way of changing the translation on it. There are a few ways. I personally haven't done it, so I wouldn't know off the top of my head the exact way of doing it, but have a look and see where the code is. And if it's getting passed through the translation function, then you could probably make a change through translation. But then that sometimes means you need to turn on translations, which can be a lot. Sometimes just you do in JavaScript. But yeah, I wouldn't know off the top of my head about exactly how to do that. So at this point, we have created our terms or our folders. And let's go back here and back to the settings, and we can select media directories. There we go. Let's do that and click on save. Let's close this. And if we go right back to content and then media browser and hit refresh, we can see our root directory and we can also see our folders. Now, I should mention that the module uses, where is it? It's up the top here, JS tree library. And it gets pulled in using the CDN. You can download it, and it does recommend, of course, to download it. But in this case, we're just pulling it through the CDN. And that's what gives us this nice little tree structure. Now, we can do a few things from here, okay? First things first, we can edit the actual media. We can also click and then drag and move the actual images around. Let's go ahead and add an image. And what I'll do is, well, no, before we do that, let's go back here into settings. And what I recommend you do is turn on combined uploads, because that means we can then upload different file types. So let's do image and document. And you can control a few other things from here, such as hiding the media tab. So that is this media tab. And there is also a files tab that you can hide as well if you no longer want to use it. And then you have some other options here with the actual, what is it? Editor. let's go ahead and do that, because what we can do is we can essentially bulk upload. And what this does is we can upload, when it says combined, we can upload PDFs or images, and it will automatically assign and create the media entity that corresponds with the file extension. Because remember, we aren't just uploading a file to the file system and that is it. What we are doing is we are uploading the file, it's creating a file entity, and then based off the file extension, it needs to figure out, okay, is this a document or is it an image? So there's a lot of things behind the scenes. So what I'll do is let me grab my files here. So I've got well, that's today's. Let me do this thumbnail. So upload that one, and I'll upload this PDF as well. Why not? We'll upload both. And there you go. Like, that was pretty easy to set up to essentially bulk install. So this one's called thumbnail, and let's add that to thumbnails. And this one is a PDF, and let's add that to PDFs. And click on save. So we can see here, our thumbnail has been added. And if we click on PDFs, we can see our PDF right here. Now we can't see a preview of the PDF because you need to install a few extra modules for that. And I do have a video on displaying the thumbnail of PDFs. There is, check out just go to the YouTube channel and go on the live, and there should be something about showing PDF previews, because it does require a few extra modules to generate that. We can see that, yeah, we're able to easily just upload an image and a PDF, and it automatically created the asset for us. And we can also, if we come along in here, we can, let's actually fix this up. Let's add this one here. What is already in there? Wait, no, not that one. Let's move that one back, and let's move this one in there. And we can also filter on the side. So if we search for, what is it? Admin. There you go. We can filter it. Now, just imagine we had a whole bunch of images. You can see it makes life a lot easier to just filter. And if we click and hit Command or Control, you can select multiple items and then move them around. You can see a little checkbox there has been added. So it makes it very easy just to move things around and move them from folder to folder. Okay, so we've looked at using the media browser. Now let's look at integrating this same browser into a field. Because remember, if we go to create basic page and click on add media, this displays a actual, this displays the media library pop-up. And you can see that we do have our directories right here, and we can then just simply filter our content with them. But what we can do is we can actually replace this pop-up with the same media browser. Now what we can do is go to content types, manage fields, and then click on manage form display. And if we go to featured image, let's click on entity browser, and then click on the cogwheel, and you want to select Media Directories Entity Widget. And let's click on update and save. And now if we go in there and refresh, and let's create test. All right, there's a few things we need to clean up here. So first things first, there needs to be a bit of a pop-up. All right, let's fix that up. There are a few things, okay? So the first thing you want to do, well, you want to select actually field widget, sorry. You want to come here and select Media Directories Field Widget. Hit refresh and click on Select Media. There you go. Now you get a nice pop-up. If we select one of our images, You don't see a preview, you just see a label. Now we can work around that by, again, going back to Manage Form Display, clicking on the cogwheel, and then under Entity Display Plugin, you want to select Rendered Entity. And let's select Medium or one of the view modes, doesn't really matter. Click on Update. Now if we come along here, refresh, select an image, select that one, and now we get a nice, useful preview. So if you want to use the directory UI on a field widget, all you need to do is come to the Manage Form Display, find your featured image or your media field, and then click on the cogwheel and select Field Widget, and make sure you select Rendered Entity. You also have other options here where you can display an edit button, replace button, and so on and so forth. And click on Update, Save, and now you do get a very nice interface where you can also combine upload items from here so the editor doesn't have to pop over to a different screen. Now, the other way editors embed assets is through the editor. So let me show you how to integrate this stuff directly with CKEditor. So we have a nice little button here where we can embed it in. Now, of course, we do have this standard media library, and this is all thanks to the media library. And that's one thing I should also mention is that Entity Browser and Entity Embed can be used to build this exact type of functionality, but it's just more generic, whereas Media Library only works with the media entity. Whereas you might, in the future, you might have some type of content model where you have projects or resources and you want a nice little pop-up where editors can jump into CKEditor, click on a button, select a resource and embed it into the editor with other content. This is where you would use Entity Browser and Entity Embed because they do kind of work together. And I do believe that's more of the Drupal way of doing things where Drupal, a lot of modules in Drupal are like libraries that help you build out functionality. And that's great because it gives you a lot of flexibility, but it's a pain for people just getting started because unless they know how everything kind of works, and it can be a bit of a minefield just to kind of figure out, okay, this module works with that module, and so on and so forth. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's clean up these tabs a little bit. I'll clean up this one. And let's go to configuration. And let me just quickly show you, because if we click on text editor embed buttons, you will see the node button, and this comes default with the entity embed. But then we do have this media, and this is the one that's offered to us by Media Directories. And you can control what type of media can be selected. In this case, it's just image and remote video. Also the allowed view modes. And most importantly, this is where things are integrated with Entity Browser. So you can come along here and select exactly which browser will be displayed when you click on the button. So both modules are heavily integrated. And you can also chuck in a custom icon as well. All right, let's go back. Text, where is it? It's always, I always forget where it is. All right, text formats and editors. And let's add it to our editor. And we can see this media right here. Let's click and drag it. So we've clicked and dragged it over to the active toolbar. And you also want to switch on display embedded entities. So that is going to then embed another. So where is it? Come along in here. We should see Drupal entity as an element, as well as Drupal media. So Drupal media is used for the standard Drupal media stuff, whereas Drupal entity is, of course, for Drupal entity. All right, let's click on Save Configuration. And if we come along in here, let's create a test page. So test page, chuck in some text, and let's go in here and chuck in some text quickly. Okay, done that. And now all we need to do is pop this in, and we need to refresh so we can see our new button. There we go. Let's do that again. Okay, we can see our new button here. Let's go test page, put in a description, let's chuck in some text. All right. And what we can do, let's pop this down a little bit. Click on button right here, and we do hit our first issue. Okay. There is always a slight bit of configuration. So to fix this issue, all you need to do is come to media and media, or sorry, entity. I can't see that from there. Where is it? Entity browser. Oh, it's right there. Entity browsers. And we want to click on the editor right here. And under display, click on this display plugin settings, and we'll give it a width of 90% and then a height. And this has to be in pixels. So I'll do, what is it, 600 or 500. It depends what you want. You know, just see what works best for you. Then click on save. And now if we need to, oh no, we don't need to refresh. There we go. We have a nice little pop-up, and we can come along in here, find our item and select it. Let's center it and let's embed it. And if we click on save or published, you can see right here, it has been embedded. And that is it, okay? You can see where by using Entity Browser and Entity Embed with Media Directories, you get a pretty decent UI. Now, I must admit, the functionality is pretty similar to this, especially the clicking and selecting, but you do get the standard folder structure here on the left-hand side. And just imagine if you had hundreds and hundreds of images, it just makes it easier to filter your content and also select it from particular folders. So when it comes to using media directories, that's pretty much it. So what I do recommend is when you download it, install all of the modules, then create your taxonomy vocabulary. You can upload and manage media from the media browser page. You can also manage it from a field widget, and you can also chuck things directly into the editor. Now let's take a look at media folders. Now this module only requires one module to be installed. So there's only one, and it kind of handles everything for you. And it is, I think it is a new module. I think so, seeing that it's from April 2025. Okay, it is a relatively new module, but it's actually pretty good. Playing around with it, I was pretty impressed with it. So to start things off, simply download it, and let's go to extend, and I'll search for media folders and click on install. Give that a moment. Let's close this off. And the module works a little differently because if we go to taxonomy, it will automatically create a media folder vocabulary for us. And it straight away just creates just a few terms. And it's up to you if you want to stick to this setup. You can, if you want to. You can easily just stick to it. And if we go to content, we should see a media folders. And here you can see media folders. Now, there are a few styling issues, as you can see here, but this can easily be fixed just with a bit of CSS. And you can see on the right-hand side, we do have a few options. So you do have the root directory. I believe you also have images. So you do have a few items here. So if we double click on document, we can see our document. We click on images. We can also see our images here as well. And we can search. So if we search for, say, Drupal, we can filter on that particular page, or we can do a full search where we'll search for all the entities with that keyword of Drupal, which is actually pretty handy. So if I was to type in, say, right here, what is it? Admin, don't see anything, but do a full search, we can see admin right here. We can also, let's go to images, grid, list. You can also change the sort. That's pretty useful. And you can manage fields. So what we can do is we can move fields around. And this UI is actually pretty cool because it makes it easy for editors to quickly organize the folders without having to go to the taxonomy system, because the taxonomy system can be a bit full on sometimes, especially if you have a lot of files and stuff like that. So here, for example, let's put in a new, well, let's close that. Does that, so manage folders. Well, let's put in a new folder. So call this one thumbnail or thumbnails. And I do believe, oh, it's already a child item. All right, cool. It's already there. And if I go to manage, you can see that it is already there. All right. And what we can do is upload files. And I do believe we can upload multiple files. Let me give that a go. Oh, we can. There you go. Click and drag it in. And let me chuck in a PDF. So we can chuck in a PDF or a bunch of images. And click on upload. And there you go. It's been uploaded in. Let's move PDF over to document. And you can also right click and edit directly from here as well. And you do get this nice little pop-up as well. Now, straight away, you might be thinking, how can I show a preview? Because if you click on, say, images, you just see, yes, you see a thumbnail here, but you can't see a preview or a thumbnail of the actual image from this page. And that is just a configuration option. So if we go to configuration, and let's search for, what is it, media folder settings. And you just want to check show image thumbnails. And you can also set the default order and also the default view mode. Then if we come back in here and refresh, we can see, well, if we change it to grid, it'll be easier to see these items. And you can also bulk move items to thumbnail. There you go. So the interface is very similar to Media Directories. And once you do fix up this little styling issue, it's actually pretty good. And I do feel like it is a little more modern looking and it matches the Gin setup. And you also have a nice set of breadcrumbs right here. Now, the other thing we can do with media folders is that we can have this pop up in the media field. So if we again go to structure, content types, click on manage fields, and then go to manage form display, we should see media folders. Let's click on that. And if you click on the cogwheel, you can configure a few items. Let's set it to like list, well, you can set it to either list or folder view, and you can switch on some functionality in there. Click on update. And if we go to basic page, click on add. Again, yes, this styling needs to kind of be fixed up, but you can control everything from the same interface. Come along here, upload, you can bulk again. Well, you can just upload images because the field only allows you to reference featured images, but I'm sure if you could select multiple or different types of media types, you will be able to upload different files. And you can also create your folders directly from here. So again, this is very similar to the Media Directories module. But yeah, you just need to fix up this bit of style, this styling issue, and you do get a pretty decent UI. Now, you can also integrate media folders with CKEditor, but things are a little different for us. We don't have to configure anything because it automatically integrates with the insert media button. So as I mentioned before, the insert media button is given to us by Media Library. And if we come back here into, well, where is it? Configuration, media folder settings, you will see this option here, disable CKEditor plugin. That means it won't be used. But if we click on the standard insert media, you will get the pop-up appearing. We can click on it, select an item, and then just double click, and that's it. We have gone ahead and selected the item. We can go in there and where is it? Add a caption. You can do all sorts of stuff with it. Now, I would like it if there was an actual button that says insert. Because from an accessibility standpoint, because yeah, it may not be obvious that you have to just double click, but that can easily be added in. And the functionality in this module is pretty decent when you think about it. This module has only been around since April and it's very, very good. And other than that, there's just a few other things, and yeah, you can actually do a few. Yeah, the functionality is pretty good. So if you want to manage your media assets within folders and you don't want to use media directories and you prefer to use media folders, well, you can, because they both offer very similar functionality. You install them, you get the same view essentially from the content overview page. You can attach them to, media reference fields, and you can also put them in directly into the editor as well. So let me go ahead and just give this a test with a whole bunch of images. So let me click on upload. And I do have a bunch of photography, was my plain photos, which I've actually used in a few streams. Actually, no, I've got a double one. Yeah, that's one. All right, so I don't want that one. Let me select all of these and upload all of them and click on upload. And that's it. You can see just how quickly that uploaded. Now, of course, if we go to media browser, we should see the same ones, but because they haven't been tagged or essentially, added to the right media folder, you can't see it. But you could essentially use both at the same time if you want to. And then here, well, I do like the actual size of the thumbnail compared to media folder. So if we go into images, and maybe this can be an option, or maybe you can configure it. But it is pretty good to be able to select, what is it, multiple ones. Oh, well, to select multiple ones, you need to click on Shift, click Shift and then select them. And then for Media Directories, it is Control and Select. And that is the difference. So that's pretty much it. Nice short live stream. So if you want to manage your media assets into folders, you can do so. And take a look at Media Directories as one option. And the second option is to use media folders to manage your media assets into folders. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn more about Drupal, head over to webwash.net and also check out our YouTube channel and also check out the other videos. And if you have any comments, please leave them. And also, if you have any ideas for other videos, also, I'd love to hear about them because, yeah, every week I'm trying to come up with ideas, and yeah, it makes my life a lot easier if people are like, oh, you know what, you should cover this. And I think next week's live stream will be from feedback that somebody gave me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. All right. Yeah, agree. Media folders UI looks pretty good. I must admit, yeah, it actually looks, it does, it does look good. It's just this styling issue I have to kind of fix up. What is this anyway? Oh, where is this? You can see it's like this flex needs to be just slightly adjusted or something like that. Thanks. Yeah, no, this stuff is pretty good. Pretty good stuff. And the UI is very Jin-like. And what I mean by that, it's got the same type of look and feel, same type of style. It is pretty good. I think if there was just a bit more options around the size of the thumbnail that gets generated. But hey, it's open source. We can make our changes ourselves. Oh, alternative to jQuery. Oh, that's right. They're probably taking jQuery out. Anyway. Well, thank you so much for joining. I hope you all learned something. Oh, need to figure out what's on for next week. No, I think there was a comment about good tutorial. We're dealing with media, my current workplace. Well, that's it. Yeah, media is a huge thing. It can be, yeah, especially if you're working with a bunch of editors that actually use it a lot. You get a lot of feedback. Oh, custom. Yeah, custom. That's a good comment. Yeah, can you make one about custom theme? Theme development, it's Drupal's at a very interesting place right now when it comes to theme development. Whoa, 360 editors. Well, that's a lot. That is a lot. Yeah. Because I've worked on a Drupal site that had a whole bunch of editors, and it's always interesting to watch non-Drupal people use Drupal. Yeah, it's a very humbling experience because so many times you're like, oh, this is easy, just do this, this, and this. And they're like, why can't I do this? You can't tell them, well, because because of Drupal, but yeah, 360. That's a lot of editors. Oof, that's a lot of editors. Yeah, coming back to the whole thing about theme development. Yeah, Drupal's in a funny place now with theming because you have the whole new experience builder that's planning to come out in the next few months, which could potentially change absolutely everything when it comes to theming. So I want to hold off and see. I do have a collection of videos on using Twig and using, what is it? Libraries and the library system. But no, I do no, that's a good thing. Maybe, yeah, that would be a good one, just implementing H an HTML an HTML mockup from the ground up. Because if I wanted to use, say, Tailwind, I would probably use UI kit. No, what is it? The UI suite with Daisy UI. Okay, because Daisy UI is essentially like a wrapper on top of Tailwind. And also Bootstrap as well. So let's have a look. What is it? Drupal UI suite. And this is like a whole design system using what is it? Single directory components. And so you can use, where is it? Yeah, Daisy UI, which is just a nice wrapper on top of Tailwind. So essentially it's Tailwind, let's be honest. So you want to, so, and I do have a video on this as well somewhere. There you go. Yeah. But no, that is a good one. Maybe I can do one about that anyway. All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for joining. I hope everyone learned something. I know I did. I do think this, yeah, at least one of these modules should be in Drupal CMS for sure. For sure. All right, well, let's just leave it there. Thank you all so much. I'll catch you all next week. All right, cool. See you later.